I made amends, and then I went to the police. Sometimes situations get messy. They get messy even though you're trying to stop it from getting messy. They get messy even though you're trying to avoid the energy of the mess. But I learned a lesson, and I'll make this one quick. Protect yourself. Protect your self-interest. Love yourself, empaths, if you're watching. I had a situation where someone in my life became unpredictable. I never didn't think that I couldn't manage the energy of this person. I transmuted and healed energy for them all the time. They didn't know what I was doing, but I did it all of the time. Because they didn't know, as you know how that goes, they were ungrateful. Because why would you be grateful if you are receiving something you didn't ask for? Empaths, message, stop giving so much. They don't appreciate it. And not out of bitterness, out of self-preservation, which is precisely what led me to the police station. And also to make amends. Because a person was unpredictable, it wasn't just them. They were attached to a different energy that was unpredictable in a way I'd never seen. And it took them, I want to say out of themselves, but now I'm thinking it was really themselves. This is who they always were. And with this person, they could really indulge in that. Have you ever watched a couple get together and they have a terrible time and there's like domestic violence and crazy things happening and stalking and a lot of insanity, and then they break up with that person, they get with somebody else, and it's a perfectly normal relationship. Maybe they have another breakup and they move on, and you never see them at the volatile state of combustion that they were with that one person. We all have someone that's a karmic partner. Just a heads up, I have a video on here about telling the difference and understanding the warning signs of a karmic partner. But what I realized is that when you're dealing with that karmic partner, you you can be at your lowest vibration, and that person was, and I could transmute her energy all day, waking and sleeping, even though it was tiring at times, but I could not. She wanted me to, it was like she was asking me to run a filter through this other person too, because of our connection. And I was like, no, this is a bridge too far, even for me. Even for me. It's too much. She was being very energy vampire-ish, and she was. It was that. Maybe not so much ish about it. It was what it was. And she would tell me, this other person drains me so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired with dealing with them, when she was in a higher vibration. But see, when you spend a lot of time around the narcissist, or you spend a lot of time around someone who's toxic, you will assimilate. The toxicity is no longer perceptible. And that's what happened in that situation, until I was like literally, and there are videos that I talk about it in, but I was in the hospital 7 times last year, and it's just such a powerful lesson. It's a powerful number of synchronicity, a number of pay attention, a number of spiritual intervention, and I wasn't paying attention, and so that's what led me to making amends. I made amends because when you're dealing with someone who's dealing with addictions and energies that allow them to devolve into their lowest vibrational self, a self which we all have. Let me be clear. I'm not going to come down on this person, because I will always say, is not irredeemable. She can figure that stuff out for herself. But what I will say is that there, but for the grace of God, go any of us. We all have a lower vibrational self. The show Snapped exists for a reason. The first 48, Law and Order SVU, these things exist. They're ripped from the headlines because they actually happen. And with this person, that someone who had total access to my life, my greatest fear. Oh God, won't your angels and ancestors walk you through facing your real fears, your real pathology? And they did here. My greatest fear, she had such access to my life, and she knew things about me, and she was my best friend. And so we talked about everything, the little things, the petty things, the catty things, all the things. And because of that, it forced me to look at my own shadow. What things had I said? I had to go back over that. What things had I done? What things had I shared? I had to be ready to own all of it. And my angels advised me so clearly, tell your truths and heal from this and move on. And so it put me on a weekend jag of phone calls to friends and in laws and family members. And I had to be Usher. I had some confessions. I had some bones to pick. I had some accountabilities to hold for ghosting and behavior. I had to talk to husbands and wives. I had to talk to aunts and uncles. I had to talk to brothers and sisters. I had to talk to friends and potential frenemies. I had to tell all of my secrets. Now, you'll say, Monette, you didn't have to tell all of your secrets. No, but I'm an intuitive empath. If you're watching and you're here for the first time, I'm an intuitive empath, a professional intuitive empath, and there is a part of me that believes that you should have some accountability. I so believe in walking my talk to a painful point. I gotta take a deep breath. Whew, that one was hard to go in there and clean up some messes that my lower vibrational ascendant Gemini self made. Because, we Geminis. Now, I'm a Leo sun, but that Gemini rising, it it had its moment in its younger days, okay? I've had to really channel that energy. But to my friend, to my confidant, thank you for being a friend. Traveled around the world and back again. Her heart was true. I thought it was. It wasn't. It was not true. But she was a pal and a confidant when I thought it was true. And so I had to clean up, and so I did. Some hard conversations. It wasn't easy. Some not happy people. It wasn't easy. Some actually great conversations that went really well. Because what I had to do was take care of myself. I called the companies that I freelance for and I said, heads up, 7-Up. I just need you to know that something could be up because unfortunately I've got someone in my energy who's dealing with addiction. I had people that were gracious and kind and understanding and probably baffled. And so when I was finished cleaning all that up, I marched myself right on over to the police and took my social distancing and my sanitizer and my mask and gave a statement. Really more as an act of protection. See, I'd had a premonition, and it's hard. It's hard to go tell the police. I've had a premonition. But I was dealing with a situation where because of the addiction, covert narcissism and some racism just straight out just cropped up. And I was like, I don't know. I thought I knew my friend. I didn't question her. I questioned her loyalty and her honesty. I questioned her. I questioned those things, but I didn't think my friend would hurt me. No, I did not think my friend would hurt me. That is not something I think she was capable of. But then my delusional mind opened up and said, she's just eviscerated you. Why would you think she wouldn't hurt you? You know what covert narcissism is like. You know what jealousy rages are like and jealousy hangovers. And you know what fear and paranoia does. And you know how addictions combine. You know what substance abuse is. So if this person is a walking Cat 5 hurricane, then you need to acknowledge that you might be approaching the perfect storm. You've been so private and so protective and so careful about who you shared your life with, but you had no holds barred when it comes to sharing with her. But the person she connected herself to grew up in a state that is filled with hate and where Confederate flags still fly proudly, freely, home of the free land of the brave, sweet home, Alabama. So the energy of the other person was very jealous, and for many reasons, but the racist air of it, the energy of elimination. My angel said to me, you better run from the devil. You better get away from Jodi Arias and Betty Broderick. Now, it was not a coincidence that they said Jodi Arias. That was my friend. You say, well, how could you just so casually say that someone that you had a premonition could be like Jodi Arias could be your friend? I don't think that she would in the 3D do what Jodi Arias did. I don't doubt that her lover is capable of all of that and more. That's another video for another time. But metaphorically, in the 5D, she did do what Jodi Arias did. She front stabbed me, she back stabbed me, and she tried to cut my throat. You want to come heal? Let's talk about shadow. Got on my hawk earrings. We're powerfully protected. We're protected by angels. We're protected by ancestors. And that's exactly what stepped in to protect me. Both of those things in that order. So when I sat there with a perplexed policewoman, very friendly, looking at me as I said, I just need to give names and addresses. Not for you to go find them, but in case anything ever happens to me, I need you to know who did it. Again, I don't think my friend would act on her own, but in cahoots with this person, this lover, I had no idea what she was capable of, because what she put me through in the past year, 2 years, I didn't think she was capable of. My angel said, do not underestimate her. They woke me in dreams with visions of snakes slithering to me and my father stepping from the shadow, angels and ancestors. They woke me in dreams with them leaning into each other just before a kiss, whispering and looking back at me. They woke me in dreams. I've been doing my work, I've been meditating, I've been praying, but when I sat there in that chair, I can't say that I wasn't shaken. I was a little bit shaken. I was shook. Scared to death, scared to look, because ain't no such things as halfway crooks. Do you know what that means? You can't tell me that you're just a crook on Thursday, because honey, you're a con artist every day. And that day could be the day that you want to take my life away. And in cahoots with that nut, my angel said, protect yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself, because trusting pathological sociopaths is always bad for your health. So I sat there and I gave my statement. I said, there's nothing really to be done, but I just need it to be known that these are the two people that I don't feel like want to know if I make it safely home. They are stationary, and in their place they may stay, but just in case they roam, I had to make sure that I wasn't going to die another day, okay? I got real serious about that. I was real disgusted about that. But in the world we live in, we see that because of the racial disparity, these people are Caucasian, that a black life is just now being heard. It's just now being acknowledged that it matters. And we have yet to see the repercussions of that. Will the police walk out what they say? Will they be better? Will things change? Well, when you're black, you don't really leave things to chance, because if history is the best predictor of future events, then we have an idea. And I think we've seen, since some of these more incredible and devastating losses, I mean, incredible lacks of humanity, devastating losses, brutality and lynching. The one she was attached to had that in her blood. My angels showed me. And for the first time in a long time, since someone offered to make me strange fruit, I took notice. I paid attention. When I get those messages, I don't ask questions. I run. Fight or flight, right? But then you have to protect yourself from the things that may go bump in the night. If an astronaut would drive across country because of a triangulated situation that her lover may or maybe didn't hype up, wearing a diaper with a premeditation to murder somebody, an astronaut who has spent God knows how many years in school cultivating her intelligence and craft, that was a decision where cognitive reason did not engage, and she lost herself. We all lose ourselves in what we think sometimes is love, even if it's just lust, codependency, and possession. And my friend had lost herself to someone like that, and that someone like that just had a natural predilection not to see people like me exist, especially if it was her competition. Now, I never called myself that. My friend called me that, and requested it. Another video here about that if you want to hear the story. Competition. Except in this world, with the injustice that we are watching that lit the streets up for the last 3 or 4 weeks, it is thought that someone with a fairer skin shade is not my competition and that they could just walk up to me, shoot me, lynch me, and hurt me. I'd like to think that I'm way overreacting. I'd like to think that I'm way overcorrecting. But at the end of the day, I sat there having a lovely conversation. I ended up doing part of a reading because that's my life. I don't go anywhere without doing a reading. And telling someone, in case anything happens to me, I just want these names to be known. So that way, you who are watching will remember to say my name if anything happens. I hate to be cryptic. I hope this is utterly ridiculous. But after what I just went through, I can't say that I'm off base, and I know my intuition, and I trust myself. And I trust my angels, and I trust my ancestors. And when they stepped in, I knew that it was all over but the crying. And I cried. But now I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling better. Feeling relieved. I feel like I dodged a real well and true bullet, like well and true sociopathy, well and true covert and malignant narcissism, a soulifuge, another video that's coming. Pay attention for the merch. That'll get here someday too. I have to laugh at the end of it. I know you think, my God, you tell us this story and you laugh. Yeah, I laugh because I have angels and ancestors who protect me. I laugh because this video is my testimony. If anything does happen to me, God forbid, this video will be played in court. Me with my ridiculous earrings and my face that is full of hope now because I escaped something that was so utterly toxic. It's okay for you to protect yourselves, empaths, and in order to do that, sometimes you might have to walk your talk and have a few tough conversations. Maybe there's a lesson in there for some of you. But after you walk your talk and deal with your own demons, make sure that you don't let other people's demons step on your neck. Come back next time, and we'll continue to evolve together.